Hello, good afternoon, good morning, and good night. Hi, I'm Sparrow, otherwise known as Steampunk Sparrows. This is my first video, but I really want to record, so yep, we're doing Planet Zoo, I guess. So, I'm gonna make it small because I'm small. I might make it, I'm not sure. Just pink, very pink. If you like continuously hear me doing something, like it's probably my braces at this point. I'm too far gone, nowhere back. There's no way back. Ooh, ombre. Nope. So glasses, because I am an absolute geek. I like this dress. This dress makes me happy. Stripy, no spotty. Nope. Okay, this is the prettiest one. Probably gonna be purple, not gonna lie, because I love purple. Purple's great. You know what? The random character they had at the beginning didn't even look that bad, which kind of I'm quite fascinated by, because generally they turn out really ugly. You notice? Like they always look so ugly. Like this one actually looks semi-decent. Like first impressions, brilliant. I like the character creation. V much, V good. I do not need hats though. Why can't I change the color of my glasses? I need the color. This is fine. I think this is gonna be close enough to what I can get at this point. See? I think she looks pretty great. So I guess I'll move on. Okay. Sure, yeah, somewhere down there in the UK. There we go. Yes. Okay. Yes, this is fine. Korean tutorial, I guess. Seeing as I've never played this. I'm going to fail this game. I'm no good at these kind of games, so yeah. But I do like the design. The design's cute, and this is a cute little logo. And this little bear, so cute. I'm gonna pretend I'm not really nervous about what I sound like right now, because like I don't record my voice that often, so. Oh, this is cute. This is real cute.
Ah, heyo at Hematu. Yeah, Oh, sorry about that. I have a habit of slipping back into the Planko language. It's good to
The voice
finally
acting's
meet you in
brilliant.
person. I'm Bernard, although I insist you call me Bernie. The only person who calls me Bernard is my wife. And even then, only when I've tracked elephant dung into the carpets.
That's quite stupid, actually.
As you know, I own several zoos, but I always like to show people the ropes here at my home. This is the first zoo I ever opened, and a source of great pride for me. And prides, thanks to a lion breeding program we ran.
Haha! Puns!
But we're in the middle of a big renovation, and that's where you come in. Sadly, our old contractor had to retire after developing a fur allergy. Poor devil kept sneezing his dentures into the lion habitat. So, it's up to you to finish everything off.
Don't trust me.
Don't worry, though. I'm not completely throwing you into the deep end. My head keeper, Nancy Jones, will be lending a helping hand. Oh, she's a hard worker, and she'll expect you to be too.
Oh.
But I'm sure you'll get along like a house on fire, or even better, one that isn't on fire. Less shouting that way.
Haha.
Hello there. From that rosy, fresh face of yours, I'm guessing you're Bernie's new hire. Good. Now, I hope you're ready to ditch your diploma, because we're about to get really hands-on. But before we begin the real work, how about we familiarize you with the zoo by learning how to fly around it and visiting some of our beautiful animals? We'll start by popping over and having a look-see at the grizzly bears in their habitat. Did you know that grizzly bears, also known as Ursus arctos horribilis, can hibernate for up to 7 months a year? Oh, but then again, given the chance, I think a lot of people would do that too.
Ha, yes.
Select one of the bears and you'll bring up its information panel.
Oh, hello, Zachary.
This is where you
hey,
can find
Zach,
out all
like
kinds of
Skeppy.
information about your animal. The most important thing being its overall welfare. You'll learn more about animal welfare today as we go through your objectives. But for now, let's enjoy this magnificent animal. Why don't you select the camera at the bottom of its information panel?
Oh my god, I am one with the bear.
See now, this is a fantastic way to get a close look at your animals. You can also get this view of an animal by simply double-clicking on it. Okay, when you're ready, let's pop over to the other side of the zoo and take a look at the lions. I've marked their location for you to find.
Okay. I guess I'm looking for lions now. This is fine. This is okay. This is such dodgy controls, like... I'm slightly confused, actually. There it is. It's quite a pretty place, actually. I would live here. You can go up here. Thank you.
Panthera leo leo. Or the West African lion to you and me. Lions are the most social of the big cats, and there can be as many as 40 lions in a pride. Although prides of that size are pretty rare. As Bernie would say, those lions are awesome. Which is precisely why I handle the training instead these days. Anyway, how about we get started on those objectives? Come on, let's head over to an empty habitat and see what needs doing there.
Empty habitat. Right, this is okay. Oh, I found a lovely little habitat. Let's twist this around a bit. This is okay. I'm fine. I know how to do this, definitely.
As you can see, it's a lovely space for animals, but it's missing a certain something. Well, 2 somethings. Warthogs. So I'd like you to adopt a pair of them. To adopt animals, we need to open the animal market, which is in the animal trading section.
Yep. Yeah, I know how to do this.
There we are, a pair of perfectly splendid warthogs for our zoo. Just click on them and select Adopt
Nice,
from the
okay.
side menu. Normally the animal exchange would be full of animals, but I've emptied out the market while you learn how it works. The last thing I need is you accidentally ordering a dozen elephants.
That would be fun, though.
When you adopt an animal, it's automatically placed in the trade centre, where they're held until you're ready to move them into their habitat, which, as it happens, you are. So how about you move them into their new home? When you ask for an animal to be moved into a habitat, your caretakers will go to the trade centre, collect your animal, and deliver them to your selected habitat. I've marked the trade centre's location, so let's go and watch the caretakers in action. Well, as you can see, those caretakers don't hang about. They'll move those animals to their destination as fast as possible. Of course, normally we'd have to place the animals into quarantine before moving them into a habitat, but I am assured by a person of good standing that these warthogs are in the very rudest of health.
Okay.
Right, let's get the warthog's habitat finished up so we can keep them nice and happy. You see, each animal in the zoo has an overall welfare statistic, basically how happy they are.
For a few
and
seconds.
that overall welfare statistic
That
is
just
itself
happened.
comprised of 4 different areas: nutrition, social health, habitat, and enrichment. Luckily, if you select an animal, you'll bring up their animal welfare information panel, which we saw earlier, where you can see how they're doing. That way, you'll know exactly what areas need to be addressed. Don't worry if that's a lot to remember. You can always check the Zoopedia for more information. Let's start by making sure we're taking care of the warthog's nutrition welfare. To do this, we'll need to place a food station and a drinking station. Now, each animal requires a different type of feeding station. And for the warthogs, it's a small feeding trough. So let's add one of those and a water bowl. Animals also require stimulation to keep them happy. Let's add a lovely mud bath for the warthogs to roll around in. That bath will count towards their
that's
enrichment
kinda cute,
welfare,
actually.
specifically their toy enrichment welfare.
They deserve happiness. Be happy. Don't worry. Be happy. This is cute.
Oh, nice work. You've got a knack for this, I see.
Oh, thanks.
Now,
I play too many
our
video
contractor
games.
had to leave in a hurry, so this place is in a Pharaoh state. Unfinished thingamajigs and whatsits all over the shop. But the first thing we need to finish is the ostrich habitat. It's over near the hippos.
But look, these guys aren't happy either, but okay. You know what? Sure, I can't please everyone, says my mother. But okay, this is a thing now.
Oh, before we actually start building our ostrich habitat, let's pause the game. Just click the pause button in the bottom right corner.
Okay, done that. I'm trying not to knock my mic
That's more
over.
like it. A quick break. Sometimes it's a good idea to pause the game whilst you're doing something which requires your concentration, because it'll stop the zoo spinning out of control while you're looking the other way. Let's keep the game paused while we get this ostrich habitat built.
Okay.
Okay, job number 1 here is to add a habitat gate before we complete the barrier. Every habitat needs a habitat gate. After all, how else would the keepers get in and out? Just make sure it's hooked up to the path so the keepers can reach it.
Okay. Yeah, where do I put this? Okay, so basically I'm supposed to go to sleep, but what's sleep except for cowards work, so I'm here and I'm not sleeping.
Right, let's
I'm
complete
gonna
the
finish
perimeter
this.
barrier so we can adopt us some ostriches. I've marked out an area for you to use, so I'd like you to finish off the perimeter using the brick barrier.
Oh my goodness. This is mildly stressing me out. Like, I'm not going to be able to get this perfect.
Good work! Remember, before you can place animals in any habitat, it has to have a full loop of connected barrier. Now, you've probably noticed that guests can't actually see into this habitat at the moment. At least not without a stepladder. But seeing as they're banned, I'd like you to select a piece of barrier and swap out the brick for a glass barrier, so the guests can see in.
Let's do it over here, I guess. And here. What do I do? I am so confused. What?
There we go. Adding in more windows gives guests even more opportunities to see the animals in a habitat. It's always best to make sure the guests can get a good view into a habitat from the path they're walking on, because it makes them happy, and because this would be a pretty terrible zoo if they couldn't. The last thing we need to do is to add a donation box. You see, when guests enjoy the view of an animal, they'll make a donation. Just make sure you put them in easy-to-reach places, like near a viewing point. Donation boxes are one of the main sources of income for the zoo, so make sure you remember them.
I'll try, don't be mad at me. Sheesh.
Now, before we adopt our ostriches, you should click the play button. After all, if the game's paused, then so are our caretakers, which will make it a bit tricky for them to deliver the ostriches, eh?
Okay.
By the way, as well as pausing the game, you can speed the game up by clicking on the fast forward button. It'll run everything at 2 times and 5 times faster. It can be useful, especially if you're waiting for money to accumulate or for animals to be delivered to your habitat. Personally, I use it when I'm waiting for a brew to finish. All right, you've finished the habitat, so it's high time we adopted those ostriches, don't you think?
Ostriches.
Let's get 4 of them in here.
Ostriches, ostriches, and Australias. Australian ostriches. You see, I can't narrate things, so when someone tells me to narrate a thing, I can't do it because, you know, I'm not a narratey person. Why do I have a golden ostrich? What's the difference? I don't quite get it, but like, I don't know.
Wait for them to be collected by the caretakers and brought to the habitat, you should get it ready for them. Add a suitable feeding station, water station, and an appropriate food enrichment item. It's often best to place things like enrichments and feeding stations near to the habitat perimeter, so guests can get a really good view of the animals.
Stop! The game must be paused. I haven't got anything for these tiny creatures. Divorced, beheaded, died. There's like 2 of these here. There's some lovely. Lovely.
Oh, good to see the ostriches have somewhere they can really stretch their legs. Did you know they can actually run at 43 miles per hour?
Really?
Oh,
No
heaven forbid
way.
they ever escape. The speed camera fines alone would bankrupt us.
Oh, goodness. I'm sorry.
Well, but shall we? To make it easier for the keepers to feed the ostriches and hippos, we should build a new keeper hut. Keeper
sleepers for the
huts
week
are
and
where
I
the
don't have
keepers
school
prepare
tomorrow,
the
so it's
food for
fine.
animals. So they should be placed near to the habitats to make sure the keepers don't waste their time walking when they
keeper hut.
should be looking after the animals.
That's nice. I quite like that. That's cute.
This keeper hut only has space for 1 keeper, but the larger keeper hut can allow multiple keepers to prepare food at the same time. Oh, but bear in mind that keeper huts and other staff facilities shouldn't be placed near to areas where there are lots of guests. Guests don't like seeing facility buildings, and it can affect their happiness. Negatively. In case that
Why
wasn't
though?
clear.
Why?
Something that all facilities, shops, and a whole host of other objects need is power. And that obviously includes your newly built keeper hut. So let's
lovely.
place a transformer next to it, shall we?
The transformer! Yeah, I'm gonna turn
Now, the
into
reason
someone.
everything has gone blue. Let's get on to your next objective then. Bengal tigers. We want to adopt some, but I'm afraid there's nothing ready for them yet. Head on over to the plot of land I've marked out. It's not too far away.
Oh, here we go. This should be good. This isn't
Righty,
big enough
the
space.
next job is to build a habitat from scratch. And concrete and glass, I expect. So go ahead and build it. Just make sure that the habitat includes that big hole we've dug. Oh, and don't forget to add a habitat gate to the barrier. Bernie takes safety very seriously at his zoos, so we should probably make sure those tigers can't jump out of their habitat, don't you think? Now you've got all of the perimeter selected, you can increase the height of it by clicking and dragging the barrier height tool upwards. You'll want to make sure it reaches a height of at least 3.7 meters. Now that the habitat is in place, don't forget to put down a donation box near to your viewing areas. We need every dollar we can get. Especially as these tigers aren't exactly eating instant noodles for lunch.
I wish they were. You'd have to pay less. Tigers cost too much. Facilities. History's about to get overthrown.
Okay, that's the habitat boundary complete, the habitat gate's in place, and most importantly, the tigers won't be able to jump out of it anymore. I think it's time we adopted those tigers.
No, it's not. Stop. I'm not ready for that. I'm not ready. I'm not ready. Why are you here?
We'll start with the basics. Add a suitable feeding station for them.
Feeding. Lovely. So if you're watching the animals, you'd rather it be over here.
This time, instead of adding a water bowl, let's try something different. Some animals need a pool in their habitat so they can go for a swim, but they can also use it to drink from. All you have to do is make sure the banks of the pool have a gentle slope so they can easily get a nice, refreshing drink. There's already a pool excavated, but you still need to fill it with water. You should do that by going into terrain and selecting the water tool.
Toy and nom-noms, okay. Why do you want a frozen bull?
Okay, it's really starting to take shape. Now, the tigers will need a shelter in their habitat so they can hide from the guests, or more likely, the bad weather. Although given that we're in England, you might want to think of that just as normal weather.
Yes.
Add a shelter to their habitat. You can either build one from various suitable bits and bobs, or if you like, just pop down the blueprint that I've already built for you.
Tigers are baby. I love them. I'm not quite sure what I'm doing actually. Bit hillier, because hills are always fun. I like hills. No good at making terrain because this looks super trash, but it's super fake, but it's okay. I'm super fake too, so that's fine. I'm gonna have regrets, aren't I? I'm gonna have so many regrets. Like, I don't even know if I should update this upload this, but I feel like I need to just save zoo, new zoo save, and I really think I might have to come back to this later, because I guess as she said, it's as my dad did say earlier, it's getting late and I should sleep, so bye.